Welcome to the Milestones Motivation and Money Podcast, hosted by Angel Ratcliffe. Tune in as we discuss finances, success stories, and inspiring vibes that will help nurture growth.
Welcome back to the podcast and welcome to season 2. I am so elated to be here and have made it through 25 episodes in season 1 and to even say that I have a season 2 of the podcast. So I would like to go over everything to expect this season, all of my amazing guests, and just this journey of podcasting because it's been a very interesting one. So let's go all the way back. For those of you who have been listening the entire season 1, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for the likes, shares, all of the reviews online, and all of the commentary, and even people who've listened and become guests on the show. I so appreciate the support more than you know. When I first wanted to start a podcast, this was 2018, so 3 years ago. And I was getting a bit tired of the live streaming. I said, let me find another way to really stay connected to my audience. I'm going to start a podcast, ordered all of my equipment, everything the end of 2018 going into the beginning of 2019. Well, as you know, the podcast didn't get started until 2020, so don't know what happened there. But no, life gets busy and we definitely prioritize other things, and the podcast was definitely not prioritized in the top things on my list. So last year, I said, let me go ahead, had a system down, let's start recording, let's get the podcast out there. Started that January of 2020. And we all know what happened in March of 2020. So I don't even want to say that P word anymore, but I said it so much in season 1. We all know what happened there, and that just like derailed my entire podcasting quote unquote career for a few months. But I was so happy to come back last fall strong and really get everything geared up. And I appreciate the friends, the family, the online supporters who've stepped up to support, who've even come on as guests in the very beginning. So, of course, when you're trying to start something new, you do have to reach into your network, but people are asking questions. They want to know, how many downloads do you have? Is it worth me coming onto your show and actually sharing content and really trying to nail down the demographic of who is actually listening to this podcast, right? I think I know who my demographic is, but we never know who's listening. And looking at the back end of the site has been so cool because I've seen I have people listening to this podcast in so many other countries. Australia, if you're listening, shout out to Australia. I never knew I had so many listeners in Australia. Hundreds of downloads coming from Australia, coming from Wales, coming from Sydney, South Africa, Brazil, Mexico, Canada, Germany, Belgium, Norway. People in Norway are listening to my podcast. I've never been to Norway. And people who follow me, you know, I've traveled a lot. I've been to 22 countries. And this is absolutely amazing. The people that I am reaching on this podcasting journey, Russia. I have clearly a lot of subscribers and people who are downloading in India. So shout out to India, Thailand, the Philippines. When I look at the map, it is absolutely amazing. When I log into the back end on Apple Podcasts, there's something really cool that happens. So for myself and for everyone here that's listening, if you're in the United States, when you go to Apple Podcasts and you pull up a podcast, you can only see the reviews of the podcast in the country where you are. So if you're in the US, you're only going to see the reviews of the US. Myself as the podcast host, when I go into the back end, and this is something I didn't figure out until episode 20 of the podcast, so I was nearing the end of season 1. I saw all these other reviews and I said, what are these reviews and why are they not showing up on Apple? Why can't I see them there? Apparently because they're from other countries. So they only show up in those countries. Thank you so much to everyone who's been listening. London, I haven't forgot about you because I have a lot of people listening in London. There's every country. Oh my gosh. Every continent. I will definitely say that. This is amazing. I'm so excited to be here. Season 2 starts today. And after this opener episode, we'll have a bonus episode, and then we will be kicking it off with a special episode on government contracting. I have a very special guest who's going to hone in on how do you actually take your business to the next level and tap into those government contracts. And then again, this week we'll be releasing another episode. So some things that are changing this season of the podcast. I'm like, this particular season. This is only the second, right? So every Monday, we will be releasing a new episode. So we will target 25 episodes again. If you've been following, then you know that this started out as a 10-episode series interview, but the feedback that I've received is that you all like it. So we're going to continue this. This will be the style of the podcast. And occasionally I'll come on by myself with some business and finance topics, but definitely would like to get some experts here to share their knowledge on several other topics. Season 2, we have our first millionaire on the show. I am so amazed about that. I'm not going to tell you who it is. You have to stay tuned. If you haven't left this podcast a review just yet, what are you waiting for? Leave us a review on iTunes. Join the Facebook group. If you go to facebook.com/msuite, you can join us there. Milestones, Motivation, and Money, also on Facebook. So I'm going to talk about all of the amazing things that are changing. Again, every Monday we have a new episode releasing that's in relation to the topics of the show, the main topics, right? Because we also have subtopics. So business, motivation, money, finance, every Monday. Any other topic that's off topic, if it's a subtopic, those topics will be released on Wednesdays. So there are some weeks where you'll get more than one episode, and hopefully you enjoy those. We would definitely like to hear the feedback. We've shortened the episodes. So last season we were going 45 minutes, sometimes an hour. Now we're trying to stay below 30 minutes to make this a little bit more enjoyable for you on your commute, on your break, whenever you're having time to sit down and actually listen to this podcast. Another thing that you'll see happening this season on the podcast, many of the guests who've been on the show before, the feedback was awesome. They were energetic. They shared amazing information. Those guests will be on live stream in the Facebook group. So that's why it's important for you to join the Facebook group, Milestones, Motivation, and Money on Facebook. We will be kicking off a live stream series as well. So it will be more Q&A from whatever their topic was on the podcast. It could be something new. You never know. So join us there. We would love to hear your suggestions. If you have a suggestion for a show topic, shoot us an email, info@MissRMBA. That's info@MissRMBA.com. You can hit me up on all social media platforms as Miss RMBA, MISSRMBA. Love to hear your feedback, suggestions. If you want to be on the show, pitch your topic. And so excited again to kick off season 2. I hope you enjoy the 3 episodes that are releasing this week. And thanks so much again. And I'm ready. Let's go. Let's get this party started. So got this opener down. 3 episodes coming out this week. Absolutely amazing. You guys rock. Whatever country you're listening in from, you rock. Let's go.
Thanks for listening.
Motivation.
Stay connected with Angel online on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Miss RMBA. That's MISSRMBA. Be sure to subscribe and review. Join us next time as we continue to empower you through milestones, motivation, and money.